Hi guys, I'm John Carrick, author of Legacy of a Mad Scientist and The Legend of Ashley Fox. Today we've got 100 Bullets number 35, Counterfeit Detective Part 5. This story is wrapping up. It's not over yet, but it's getting close. First we've got World Fantasy Tarot, The World Ouroboros, with that very famous star right in the middle. This reminds me of, I can't remember the name of the Norse snake, Jomungar? I gotta look that up. Anyhow, 100 Bullets, 35, Milo Garrett. This is the first time we see Milo's real face, too. So, he has just left Megan Dietrich's party, where he saw the painting with the word Croatoa. And the writing, again, the dialogue in this is top shelf. This is... Everything rhymes. It has that 50s noir patter. It's really well done. Milo talks about how he's pouring champagne on a belly full of bourbon, and his mom's riding co-pilot telling him this and that. It's really good. You guys should read this series. I know I'm not doing it justice, and there's still a lot you can get from it. So he goes through a guardrail. This is basically Mulholland Drive or Outpost or La Brea coming down the hills, the Hollywood Hills. I've been down these roads so many times. Steve McQueen used to race kids down these roads. I met some guys who raced Steve McQueen when they were like in their 20s. They were all boomers, you know, much older than me. The girl that I married knew some guys who had raced him. And yeah, I've driven down these roads really fast myself. It is fun. So Milo goes through the guardrail. He is remembering. Now, Cole Burns got all his memories back at once. First off, that was good for us, for the audience. It advanced his story quicker. But for Milo, see, now we're getting more pieces. This is like a jigsaw puzzle coming together from a bunch of different directions, right? We have all these characters who play roles in this story. And apparently Milo is here holding the gun and is not the guy who gets burned in the sort of Shepherd style jacket. I certainly hope that's not Shepherd who gets burned. I think that guy might not have survived. Anyhow, he's out here with Cole Burns and the rest of the crew. That is not Cole Burns in a different haircut. Cole's with him. They drag this guy out. There's Cole right there. Dump the gasoline on him. And Milo and the rest of the Minutemen are having a discussion about whether or not they should be doing this. Is this really the right move? Not much of a discussion. There's not much dialogue on the page. That's Lono. It's gotta be. Or Jack, maybe. Might be Jack. I'm sure Wiley's there too. We're gonna see him soon enough. Anyhow, Cole's the one lights a cigarette. That's Milo. Milo might, even though Milo is remembering this as himself standing with them, he might be the guy kneeling in the puddle of gasoline. We don't know yet. I really don't want to turn the page so fast, but look at this Batman. That's awesome. I don't know if that's Frank Miller or who, but that's a good drawing. So Megan finds Milo down the hill. They talk about it's being bad form to crash parties, and now Milo's crashed twice. And you shouldn't especially crash a party when you're already drunk, etc., etc. She tells him, "Can you move?" He says, "Do you have a gun on me?" She says, "No." Then you move. He gets out, takes a screwdriver, takes his license plates, so the car can't be identified. Megan gives him a ride home. The dialogue really is awesome. It really is good. His house, not hers. She puts him in a bath. He talks about not being one much for baths. He usually prefers a shower. But Megan's still there, waiting for him. He finishes a cigarette, gets out. They have a quick conversation about the sun coming up. And doesn't it make you feel alive, this and that. This really is one of the best comics of all time. It's not easy to do. That scene yesterday with Lono and Milo in the cafe, where Lono threatened everyone. He has 2 big pistols and Milo only had 1, and he would have killed everyone if Milo had forced the issue. No words in that scene. I've never seen anything like that. That was so good, and I don't remember it from the first time I read this. That was great writing with no words. It's all about what happens. Now, what gets said is important too. If you guys ever saw the Gene Hackman movie, I think it was called The Heist with Sam Rockwell, a David Mamet film. The dialogue in that was top shelf. Spartan with Val Kilmer by David Mamet. Again, top shelf dialogue. So they enjoy each other's company. And when this is funny because for the next few pages, Milo talks about how much his head hurts. And boy, can I relate to that. I feel like I got hit in the head with a baseball bat. The pain has ramped up since Wednesday. I think it peaked last night. I had to work last night. And man, it still hurts really bad. So Milo doesn't have a car, and he talks about how in LA that's very difficult, and it's true. Graves shows up as he's walking out and offers him a ride. Graves somehow knows exactly where Milo wants to go. This is just, it's convenient, but it's also good writing. Yeah, it's convenient, but that's the Mulholland Pass, or the 101 Cahuenga Pass. Valhalla Pictures is right over here. It might be, yeah, no, that's the 101. That's the 101. Where Mel Gibson and Danny Glover sit in the first Lethal Weapon. You can see the Hanna-Barbera building when they take a phone call. There's a scene where he has a car phone, one of those big old car phones in the first Lethal Weapon. So Milo and Graves have a quick conversation about what Milo remembers, what he doesn't remember, what's going on. Echo Memoria, she shows up in this again. She's the one who hired Milo to find out what happened with the painting. Monroe Tannenbaum is the guy who was killed, who was found in the hotel in the last issue. Megan and Milo were there, and they were seen leaving the place. So Monroe and a guy named Carl went to Paris, or went to France, to steal the painting. We're going to get all that coming up. Graves and Milo are having their conversation. Graves takes Milo to his office. He's asking Milo what he remembers about. Milo doesn't remember anything before waking up in jail. This is what Milo looks like. And these are the memories that are slowly coming back to him. Milo is a hell of a fighter. I'll give it up for him. He doesn't lose. He's not a nice guy, but he doesn't lose his fights. Fables. That comic is famous. I never read it, but that got a lot of press. And Graves drops Milo off at his office where the cop is, and the cop right here fills in a bunch of those gaps because I read those other issues a couple months ago. I don't really remember them either. But Milo asks him what he's looking for. You got a warrant? And he says, do I need one? Well, then tell me what you want and I'll help you find it. This is where, and I don't remember this guy's name. He says it, but I don't remember. He tells him that Milo and Megan were seen leaving the hotel where Monroe Tannenbaum's body was found. And he wants to be filled in. He wants to know what's going on. Milo says he doesn't know yet. Better answer the phone, etc., etc. This is Echo. Echo's the one who hired him. Echo she's the one who hired Monroe Tannenbaum and a guy named Carl to steal the painting in the first place from a city in Paris. And there's a little bit of back and forth about the name of the city. He asks something, if it was, give me 1 second, I want to look at that. So yeah, Echo asks Milo to come over to her place, and we skip the drive because Milo doesn't have a car. So presumably he takes an Uber or a taxi. And he arrives they talk about this building, about how it was nice in the 50s and now it's all run down. She's there. They're talking about Monroe, if he was her boyfriend or not. Again, I think I'm going through this really fast. And the art is worth looking at. It's not... Yeah, the art is worth looking at. Was the town named Ramses? She says it was named Condom. And yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know what that means in French. But the banter is great. The banter is great between these two. Between this whole book, the way the Milo stories are written is magnificent. So someone knocks at the door. Milo says, "You expecting anyone?" No. He tells her to get it, pulls out his gun, and yeah, I'm just going to leave this up for a second so you guys can soak in the art, because what happens next is kind of big. Guess who the guy named Carl is? Carl is Lono. And he immediately grabs Echo, puts a gun to her head. Milo still might take the shot. Milo's a pretty unpredictable guy. He does tend to punch first. And, you know, Megan set him up to meet Lono just the other day, and that did not go well. So Lono is not playing games, and he throws Echo at Milo, and they go through the window. I hope there's a pool out there. Okay, we've also got Conflicted, deck 4, the 4 of diamonds. This one says, with no immediate law enforcement of any kind, neighborhood after neighborhood was raided by looters. The neighborhoods that survived the longest had checkpoints and barricades to deter invaders. How would you construct a barricade and man a checkpoint in your neighborhood if you needed to? I thought about this for a few minutes, and the truth is, you need a lot more than checkpoints and barricades. What you need are listening posts and long-range observation posts. Whether that's cameras and microphones or people set out further apart, it depends on how close your neighborhood is to other neighborhoods. The way we did barricades in the Marine Corps was we got a bunch of Tonka trucks, you know, the big earth movers, the big construction vehicles, ripped down buildings and stacked the rubble 2 stories high. That's the way that they did it in Somalia. The engineers did that. And that's the way they locked down an area. So a barricade wasn't just a few cars. It was an impassable mound of rubble. And if you're serious, that's the way to do it. But in a city, you can't really do that. You can't really do it in a small neighborhood because there's too much rural area. So it depends. That's not a good answer, but it's the truth. It depends on where you are. In an urban environment, get some earth movers and wreck some buildings. That's the way to do it. All right, I'm going back to sleep. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.